Friends, if you have followed my work here on the missing 411 cases, you know that certain chilling patterns always emerge. Specific types of people vanish, and they vanish in very specific, often restricted areas. And one of the most chilling, pervasive correlations I have identified surrounds water. Specifically, swampy, marshy, or high estuary environments, places that defy easy human access. You all know I made a documentary called Missing 411, the UFO Connection. And earlier this year, the East Coast, predominantly New Jersey, was flooded with reports of unidentified flying objects. These weren't blurry lights caught by accident. These craft were tracked, witnessed by news crews, and even the New Jersey State Police helicopter confirmed the sightings. What have I always said about UFOs? They are often observed near water or entering and exiting it. And look at this location, Atlantic City International Airport. Swamps, estuaries, and vast amounts of water everywhere. It's an ideal staging ground for something operating beyond our understanding. These New Jersey objects weren't normal aircraft. They were reported to be coming off the coast, flying along, then simply dissolving into the night air. They would change shapes instantly, or perhaps more disturbingly, go from a single craft to 3 independent objects. This suggests a larger vessel was dropping smaller probes or surveillance drones. Something with high-level cloaking abilities that our government is not yet explaining. The FAA gave approval for something to be there, and that implies technology that is ours, or at least operating with us. The region we are talking about today, the same region with this intense, decades-long UFO activity, holds 2 of the most perplexing missing children cases I have ever investigated. Cases that share a terrifying set of anomalies. Our first case involves a young man named James Branco. He was just 3 years old when he went missing on the 18th of December, 1928, in Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey. His family home was right at the edge of town, backing up directly to the dense woods and what the papers called the impenetrable swamps. James was playing in his front yard. Within 30 minutes, he was gone. The search was massive, but immediately they ran into a signature missing 411 anomaly. No tracks. Bloodhounds were brought in, and they found absolutely nothing that indicated James had walked away. Then, the peculiar dog behavior. One of the dogs followed a faint scent trail from the house straight to the edge of the thickest swamp and then simply sat down. The animal refused to cross a specific, invisible boundary, as if something unnatural was waiting just beyond the tree line. 20 searchers spent that frigid December night in the woods. The next day, troopers resumed the search, bushwhacking deep into the boggy terrain. And here is where the terror peaks. Trooper Camp saw something unusual in a hollow indentation in the ground, partially covered by a thicket of scrub brush. It was James, face down, unconscious. His body was dangerously cold, a clear sign of severe exposure. They were found 3/4 of a mile from his home. Deep in a swampy section, the police later stated a 3-year-old could not have possibly reached alone. The doctor worked on James for 3 exhausting hours, fighting the boy's severe hypothermia. As James began to regain a fragile consciousness, his father leaned over him. James whispered only 6 words. 6 chilling, terrifying words. "Some men took me." The police, strangely, stated later that they were not investigating a possible kidnapping. Why would you disregard the victim's own statement, especially when his toes were badly frozen and he was found in an impossible, restricted location? Now, let us travel 26.2 miles, almost due north, 9 years earlier, to the town of Hamilton. Here, the pattern is tragically repeated. This case is about George Billy Dancy, 30 months old, even younger than James Branco. He went missing on the 8th of October, 1919. Like the Brancos, the Dancy family lived adjacent to the deepest swamps. Billy was playing with his older brother and their fox terrier puppy. 30 minutes later, both boys were gone. Again, police were called. And again, the initial frustration. No tracks. That night, the weather turned into a deluge-heavy, non-stop rain, washing away any remaining clues. Then, the brother, Jack, returned that night with the dog. The parents tried to get the fox terrier to go with them into the swamp to look for Billy, but the dog wouldn't move. The dog was frozen with fear. The inquest later found the chilling reason. The dog had sustained a significant head injury. Unexplained. They searched for weeks. A searcher found one of Billy's old metal toys, not merely bent, but smashed flat. It would take a tremendous, deliberate force to crush one of those sturdy toys. A month later, a hunter was deep in the swamps, a location so thick and rugged that Detective Wilson later concluded Billy could not have navigated his way there. And there he was, Billy's body, submerged in water, showing signs of predation. The final anomaly is perhaps the most disturbing detail of all. A portion of Billy's clothes was found hanging on nearby bushes inside out. The boy was naked except for one t-shirt. The official inquest determined that a 30-month-old child could not have undressed himself and placed the clothes on the bushes. Do you see the terrifying parallels? Both boys under 3 years old, both vanished next to impenetrable swamps. Neither left a track. Both were found in an impossible location. And both cases involved a strange, almost ritualistic disorientation of the clothing or body posture. In one case, the victim whispers he was taken by men. In the other, police conclude he was abducted and dumped. But why use the most rugged, horrible path into an impenetrable swamp if you are a common criminal? This brings us back to the area's dark history. The intense, persistent UFO sightings. This is where we have to think outside the box, beyond standard criminal theory, into the realms of the truly mysterious. What if the men James whispered about were not human at all? What if the 3-year-old, seeing something with huge eyes and an imposing figure, interpreted it only through the limited context of the word man? The New Jersey swamp region, specifically near the Pine Barrens, has long been a hotspot for the anomalous, from the legendary Jersey Devil sightings to the endless UFO activity. This area may be susceptible to a dimensional rift or a power source that facilitates the movement of an unknown entity. When a body is found naked, clothes inside out, on a bush, and an animal companion has an unexplained head injury, the conclusion must be that whatever took these boys has a unique, terrifying signature. It's not just about abduction. It's about disorientation and calculated placement. We must consider that these disappearances are not unconnected. They are two victims of the same strange, powerful force that utilizes these swampy corridors, a force that operates with cold impunity, perhaps even using a type of time travel mystery that allowed it to select victims 9 years apart in the exact same geographic location. It all converges right here in the New Jersey swamps. James Branco was lucky. He was found just in the nick of time, but forever scarred by what he endured. George Billy Dancy was not. 2 boys, 9 years apart, snatched from their yards, found in an inaccessible location, with a consistent set of impossible anomalies. This is the tragic, unsettling pattern that defines the missing 411 research. I don't know what happened to these boys, but I do know they didn't get there alone. Share this story. Be kind, be polite, and please, always pay attention to the patterns.